Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day, and today guys we're going to be going over a brand new Invoker build that I like to call the Corrupted Invoker. Now even though this is a build showcase, the build is not the star of the show. No. The real star of the show is the reworked Corrupted Aphelion. Now, I'm not even joking when I say this weapon literally blows enemies into the Shadow Realm. I'm going to show a clip right now. Boom. Boom. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, he's over there. I see the lightning strike him. Right. Oh my god, I just realized he's in the floor. He's actually in the floor. What is going on with this weapon? Are you kidding me? I mean, that's one way to beat the boss, I suppose, right? Oh my goodness, that's insane. That's crazy. Now, that is definitely a bug, and I'm assuming that that's probably going to get patched out. I don't know why the Corrupted Aphelion now is blowing enemies outside the boss arena, but you can still hit them. Very strange. I've used this weapon before. It's never done this before, so I thought I'd showcase this so maybe the devs can see it and maybe fix it. But besides that, the Corrupted Aphelion nukes just about anything. It really does put Apocalypse difficulty on easy mode. As soon as you get the feel of this build, you're kicking ass. Now there is definitely a few ways you can set this build up. I am showing Invoker mainly because that's what people are going to want to see right now. The new class, slaying Apocalypse difficulty, let's be honest. But there are plenty of other classes that are going to fit quite well in with this build, and I will go over them later on in the video. But what makes this build so enjoyable to play, huh? What makes it so good? Lay it on me. Now, as always, I go over the first point, and it's always about damage. So yes, this build does have absurd amounts of damage, especially with the Aphelion mod, and also the brand new Corrosive Pot mod. I'm loving that new pot mod, the fact that it can hit flying enemies. Mwah. We have some insane mod generation because we are using so much elemental damage, and the Aphelion, when you shoot the orb, is able to refresh its own mod power. It's kind of crazy. We're pretty decent survivability with our summon and also some trait combos that we are taking. And because we are running the Invoker, I think it's no surprise that we have some really good skill duration and also some really good skill cooldown. And most importantly, the most important point is that it is really fun to play. I've been enjoying Invoker a lot. I think it's a fantastic class to play. I think it's really fun. I didn't add this into one of the points as well, but the Corrupted Aphelion has, when you shoot the mods, it has some insane stagger damage. It's just hilarious seeing enemies fly across the map, bosses fly across the map. This is the whole reason why bosses get bugged out in their own arena, and you can still shoot them. Crazy. Strongest gun in the game. The only true negative though is this build is not going to work on every single boss. There's one or two bosses I have come in contact with where the build just felt slow. If you can't hit the boss efficiently with your mods, the build's kind of a little bit bust. You can still get it done, it's just going to take a little bit longer. But pretty much more than 85-90% of the bosses in the game, you're just going to absolutely blow out of the water. Now, enough of the intro, guys. Let's move on to the gear and trait. So we'll go over the skills first. I'm using Way of Kaola, and I am also using the Minion Flyers. Pretty self-explanatory. Way of Kaola, it's basically a lightning storm. You're going to drench the enemy, it's going to drop lightning on them. Big damage. The less enemies, the more damage that lightning actually does. It gets spread out over every enemy that gets drenched. You do get haste. Haste is super OP. It's very fun to have haste. You can use our mods quicker. We can summon our flyers, detonate them quicker, you know, all that good jazz. And then, of course, the flyers, self-explanatory. They've been in the game since day one. We all know how these work. They're very strong. I think they did get a little bit of a change. I'm not sure if they got buffed in the recent patch or if they do explosive damage. I know there was some change with the flyer, but either way, they are a really strong summon to have, and you can have 2 of them out at a time. Now, it is worthy to know, I think I missed it in my last Invoker build, is that when you use a relic when Invoker's skill is active, you'll get 25% initiate speed, which is huge on a relic. Like, that is massive. And then it also extends the skill duration, kind of like the same effect that Hunter has. So that is a really cool passive to have. You know, you're going to get faster relic use speed, and you're also going to extend the crazy lightning storm. And if you do want to get Way of Kaola back a little bit quicker, we have 4 charges of the flyers now, so feel free to detonate them. You'll get decent charge back. And then when you resummon them, that is going to take cooldown off Way of Kaola. So you can get a free 20% skill cooldown off Way of Kaola by just doing that. I wouldn't prioritize that, but in boss fights, you can sometimes get like a 3rd Way of Kaola out before the fight's over, which is very nice. Now for the armor, feel free to use whatever strong back or whatever you want to wear. Essentially, I've got the new top hat. I really do like the top hat. The Zealot's overcoat, then I've got Leto Mark legs, and then I've also got the Pharaoh van braces. Feel free again to wear whatever you want. This is just what I want to look like. For the heart, I've gone with a shielded heart just to give us a bit more defense. And for the upgrades, I've got elemental damage, mod damage, and also mod and skill cast speed. Okay, now for the weapons, guys, I've talked about this enough in the intro. We have the Corrupted Aphelion. This weapon got a big rework. I would say it overall has had a massive buff. The only kind of nerf it has received is that I think the mod power requirement got increased from 850 to 1000. That does not matter. That does not matter. We have plenty of mod duration to get past that. The biggest takeaway from the changes though is the orbs shoot out faster and you shoot the beams out faster. So overall you can detonate all those micronovas a lot quicker, which then creates a bit more mod spam. So if you guys don't know what the Aphelion does, with the mod you shoot out up 5 micronovas. If you hit them with the primary fire, they explode and deal more damage. That is the main way you want to try and use the Aphelion. Shooting at enemies and just letting them hit the enemies does do a lot of damage, but you shooting the micronovas yourself and exploding them on enemies does way more damage, and that's the big stagger where you just send enemies flying. And now one of the other crazy changes they've done is when you hit the micronovas with your primary fire, you will generate 1 primary ammo for the Aphelion. Now, it doesn't pull from your reserves, so you literally, if you shoot your mod, hit the mod, you're going to have infinite ammo. I'm pretty sure it does not pull from the reserve. So again, you keep shooting those mods out, you keep hitting them, yeah, you're never going to run out of ammo, which now makes this gun even better. I put the feedback mutator here. This is just so we can get some mod power back when we use our mod. This is going to definitely help us mod spam a lot more. I'm really not sure what other mutator to use here. Feedback worked the best for me just so I know it does recharge a lot of that mod power back for you on damage. Very, very strong mutator if you want to mod spam as much as possible. Now, also it's worthy to note that the Corrupted Aphelion did not scale off explosive damage, even though it says explode on the actual mod card. Again, I'm not the best tester, but I'm pretty sure it is scaling off explosive damage now, which makes someone a really strong user Corrupted Aphelion because you do get mod and explosive damage bonuses. And I did notice, I'm pretty sure it's applying another burning dot with detonation trigger, and the 25% increased explosive damage definitely seems like it is applying to the Aphelion. So that's kind of how I've come to that assumption. Now for a melee weapon, I do have the Krell Axe. Now we're barely using melee in this build overall, but I have got the Krell Axe with Tainted Blade, just so we can apply corrosive on the target, which is going to give us a nice 10% increase to all damage. We do obviously have the flying bomb traps to apply corroded, but for whatever reason you're having trouble getting that corroded stack on the target, Krell Axe is going to do that job for you. But again, not really using melee weapon, we're just mod spamming. Then last weapon, I've got the double barrel. This can be whatever you want. I've just got a weapon that has a free mod slot, so you can put the flying bomb trap on. Now this is a brand new mod from the DLC. You do get it from completing the Proving Grounds. This is a really cool mod. I fucking love this mod. This is a fantastic idea, having pots that are landmines essentially. Any enemy that walks near them, they're going to spring up and they're going to explode. They do really decent damage too. But the best friggin' thing about this mod is it hits flying enemies. It is efficient to take down those flying bastards in the sky, and it does a friggin' good job at it. If they go over the flying bomb traps, they fly up into the air really high and will detonate on them. So how I like using this is the explosions do not damage you, which is fantastic. Hallelujah for that. Don't have to worry about taking damage if you get hit by these things. So the best way to use them is just shoot it to the ground, stand on top of them, and when the enemy's anywhere near you, they're going to fly up and explode on them. They're very strong. They can take out pretty much any mob in one shot, and they also apply the corrosive status effect. So this is another way I've gotten around not using the Nebula again. I know the Nebula's friggin' OP, it mainly because of the corrosive status effect that does apply. So I have tried using an alternative way to do that, and the flying bomb trap is fantastic. I highly recommend, if you haven't tried this mod out, you need to, because it is so much fun. And I have got the Harmonizer mutator here, so we can help recharge the Corrupted Aphelion mod power even quicker. It becomes a song and dance. If you shoot this out, shoot it with primary fire, shoot another flying bomb trap, shoot the Aphelion out, shoot it again with the primary fire, and you just rotate through that and stuff just dies, man. Now moving on over to the amulets and rings, guys. I do have detonation trigger as my amulet. This is really strong now because it provides a 25% damage increase, and because we're only using mods that do explosive damage, they're getting a massive increase, especially with all the balance changes that did happen. You're barely going to get over 20% increase to all damage, so having 25 beats all those rings now, which makes detonate and trigger for explosion builds very, very strong. Now for our first ring, we had Burden of the Skullist. I think that's how you say that. I might be butchering that one. This is going to reduce our ammo reserve, which we don't care about because we're mod spamming, and also the Aphelion recharges its own ammo if you shoot the micronovas now, which is really crazy. So we don't really care about the negative effect, doesn't affect us, but the positive effect is huge. We're using skills to do damage, and we're also using mods to deal damage. So this ring is very, very strong for us. Next ring, no surprise, we got Burden of Destroy. This is going to increase our damage dealt by 15%. Again, the negative does not apply to us because we're not actually shooting with our weapons. Next ring, Stone of Malevolence. Again, this is no surprise. This is how we're getting so much mod power generation back. I've tried using other mod power generation rings. Nothing works like Stone of Malevolence. This thing is just so much stronger than everything else. I don't know why. And then last but not least, there's a few options you can take here, but I feel like Burden of the Gambler is probably the best one. Disable weak spots. We don't care about weak spots. We can't hit them. So we are going to be increasing our crit chance by 10% and crit damage by 15%. Very nice to help buff the Aphelion and also the flying bomb traps damage. Now, ultimately, you can also set this up another way. And another way that works really well is with Archon. Now with Archon and Summoner, you're going to have the biggest damage potential possible. Like if I just come over here and show you guys now, you're going to get about 5 to 6k DPS in total. So if we use our Chaos Gate, shoot this out, mod, shoot, switch back to that, mod, shoot, mod. So you can kind of see the 6k there, I think. If the DPS thing wants to pop up, there you go. So it dropped there, but you had about 6k DPS going with the Chaos Gate. Now, the only issue I have with Archon is exploring. When you're going through areas, especially the DLC now, taking Chaos Gate, taking that negative damage debuff, it isn't good. You're very squishy in Apocalypse, especially in the DLC. So I don't personally like running Archon over Invoker. Invoker feels a little bit better because you have a lot more AoE potential with the Way of Kaula. You get more damage out of Archon, and it is definitely going to be better in boss scenarios, but I just felt like with Invoker, it's just much easier to run through areas, especially with having double skills, being able to get haste and everything. It just, I felt flows a lot better. With Archon, I felt like I was dying a lot more, but when you get to the bosses, yeah, you definitely do a hell of a lot more damage. So that's the trade-off there. You're a lot squishier as Archon. You do a lot more damage though. But with Invoker, it just feels more balanced. I don't know. Feel free to use this however you want. But for me, might be a little bit biased here because it's a new class and it's something new, but I really do like using Invoker. Way of Kaula is so strong and it is really fun to use. Now for the trait cards I am taking with the Invoker and Summoner build, I don't want you guys getting confused with the Archon one, but the trait cards are pretty much exactly the same. I have maxed out Flashcaster. I can't put this last trait point in. It glitches out sometimes. I don't know why. I think it's probably from using mouse and keyboard and controller. On my Xbox, it's probably glitching it out, but max out Flashcaster. I've got Fortify maxed out. I've got 8 points in the Kinship. This is going to help you to not nuke yourself if you do hit yourself with the Corrupted Aphelion mod. I've got 4 points in the Strongback just to let me wear what I'm wearing. Maxed out Vigor. I've got 7 points into Endurance. Now I have got 7 points in the Spirit. This is just to help us get more mod power for the Aphelion, since it does cost 1,000 to actually use that mod now. A little bit more expensive, but you will have to now put points in the Spirit to try and get around that. I've put 6 points in Amplitude. We want a little bit more AoE. We want Way of Kaula to have more AoE, and also our mod from Corrupted Aphelion. Maxed out Bart Skin, damage reduction. I've got 5 points into Blood Bond because we've got Summoners. This is going to give us more damage reduction. And then also maxing out Siphoner to give us more survivability. Alrighty guys, that's basically it for the build video. I think it goes without saying that the Corrupted Aphelion is kind of a nutty weapon now. It is really good. It was kind of good before, but it definitely needed this buff. I'm not sure if it's too overtuned now, but it definitely makes Apocalypse difficulty easy as hell. Again, if there's anything I can do to improve this build, please let me know in the comment section. I'm always looking for constructive criticism to, you know, make my videos better and also make my build videos better for you guys. I just want to try and bring the best content, and sometimes you guys give the best feedback. So yeah, don't be afraid to let me know what this idiot's doing wrong, okay? Appreciate all the love and support as always. I will be back with some more build videos, don't you worry. But until then, stay safe. Peace out.